What's up, y'all? V-Slingo here with another video today. And I'm doing kind of an inverse of the video I already did, which was the taking every team's worst starter and then transforming them into one of their franchise's best players. And today I'm taking every team's best player and replacing them with every team's most iconic bust. And then all the busts are going to be starting playing 30 minutes a game. I am still going to plan to do the rebound leaders video because as of right now I haven't recorded that yet, but the roster's made and everything. It just kind of cranks down to when I record it, which I don't know. Anyway, first things first, Sixers of course lose Joel Embiid. They're bringing in Sean Bradley, second overall pick, 7'6". I mean, he was a good, these aren't his stats. He was a good player for some years. He had a pretty solid length career and he was a functional role player, but not probably the value you want at a second overall pick. The Bucks are losing Giannis and bringing back Jabari Parker. I mean, and when I say bust, it's going to be a lot of circumstance rise. Jabari Parker is a bust due to injuries and stuff. He's not a real bust. You see, start off solid. By his third year, he's having 20, and then he tore his ACL twice, I think it was his ACL. But, hey, life sucks sometimes, so you got to deal with it. The Bulls are losing Zach LaVine, even though I probably consider DeRozan their best player. Zach LaVine was higher, and they're bringing in, I don't even remember. Who did they bring in? Jay Williams, that's who it was. Another guy, I mean, he played his first 2 seasons, and then I think he got in a motorcycle accident or car accident, and then he couldn't play again. Another just unfortunate situation that come down to injuries, but oh yeah, that's just how it's going to be. Cavs lose Donovan Mitchell. They bring in Anthony Bennett. Worst number 1 overall pick ever. I mean, I think he's in the league 4 years maybe, and he was never really showed anything. He showed a lot of promise in the summer league, but once the season started, this wasn't all shit. Celtics lose Tatum and bring in, controversially, Chauncey Billups. Hear me out. Now, Chauncey Billups as a player would probably not be a bust, right? He's probably borderline Hall of Famer, this, that, this, had some good years on the Pistons, some solid years on the Nuggets, I think. Yeah. But I'm calling him a bust for the Celtics. One of the Celtics iconically not even iconic, historically do not draft bad. They do not draft bad at all. So it was kind of hard picking a guy, but he was, I believe, the 4th overall pick or something, and then they traded him either his rookie year, his second year before he really became anything. So it's he as a player wasn't a bust, but for the Celtics, they didn't get whatever pick he was valued for him, if that makes sense, right? Speed this up a little bit. 76ers, what? No, Clippers. It's not the 70s. Clippers lose Kawhi, bring in Michael Olowokandi. Grizzlies lose Ja and bring in Hasheem Thabeet. Hawks lose Trae Young and bring in Sheldon Williams. And this face creation isn't bad, but no disrespect to Sheldon Williams. I'm gonna put a picture of him on the screen. Man. Anywho, Heat. I keep naming the wrong team, bro. I'm tripping. The Heat lose Jimmy, bring in Michael Beasley. Hornets lose LaMelo and bring in Adam Morrison. The Jazz lose out on Lauri Markkanen and bring in Enes Kanter / Enes Freedom. Another quality role player, but not the expectations of a 3rd overall pick I think he was. Kings lose De'Aaron and bring back Marvin Bagley. Another guy, okay player in the NBA, but just not the expectations you want with the pick. The Knicks lose Jalen Brunson and bring in Frank Ntilikina. Lakers lose LeBron and bring in Lonzo. Another team that historically drafts actually pretty well. I mean, they actually did get a lot of value for Lonzo, but it's just, The Magic lose Franz, who was their best player, and they gain nobody. What is the guy's name? I don't actually have the dude's name listed down, but basically in 2006, they drafted a dude in the lottery. I don't remember what pick. I think it was the 10th pick, and he never came over to the Magic. He continued playing EuroLeague, and then he actually retired a couple years ago. Never once came to the NBA, nothing. I'm going to put something up on him on the screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about too. I can't remember the thing right now. So they're just getting as much as they got for him, which is nothing. Mavs lose Luka and bring in Samaki Walker. Honestly, don't remember too much about it. I like, this is a good amount of research went into this because I had to, some teams I kind of knew immediately, other ones I didn't, and off the top of my head, I don't remember some of the players, honestly. Nets lose Mikal Bridges, bring in Derek Favors, another guy who's just a role player. Nuggets lose Jokic and bring in this guy, Nidoslav. I can't pronounce his name. And you see, he's not in the game, of course. You can check his stats. Honestly, I'm going to put his stats up on the screen, too. He was a guy who basically was like the worst NBA player ever. 7 foot, kind of small forward, power forward. And I think he shot 30% in his career. 29% his rookie year. Playing just about every game that season. 29% from the field. So he's 100% here. The Pacers lose Tyrese Halliburton, bring in Jonathan Bender. Pelicans lose Zion. Who did the Pelicans get? Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers had a wild high school misstep and everything, but he just never really became everything. The Pistons have some iconic ones. So low-key, I consider just if they had Killian Hayes, that's enough, but decided to still take Cade and give them Darko back. The Raptors, another team who don't really draft too bad historically, they lose Pascal Siakam, bring in Bargnani. The Rockets, another kind of controversial one, Ralph Sampson. I mean, he just kind of started getting hurt and shit, but he was a multi-time All-Star before that. Like the first 3 years, I think he was good, and then he got hurt. But another team drafts pretty good. Didn't really know what to think. They lose Jalen Green. Spurs, another team back-to-back draft pretty well. I just gave them Josh Primo back. I mean, he didn't really do too much in his rookie year, and then his second year, he kind of gotten some issues. So he's not even on the team anymore. Suns lose KD and bring in Jalen Smith. He's on the Pacers now, okay, but he basically didn't play at all for the 10th overall pick. Thunder lose Shea and bring in Cole Aldridge. I think he was the 12th overall pick in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Not necessarily a bad. He was just a pretty bad player. He never really became too much. And this is a rookie version of all of them. I do plan to do about probably 3-4 seasons. We'll see how they do. See if it's anything intriguing enough to keep going. But it's not just gonna be a 1 season thing. Timberwolves lose out on Ant and bring in Jarrett Culver. Just bad NBA player. Trailblazers get Greg Oden back. Everybody know Greg Oden. I don't got to say too much. Warriors, Ekpe Udoh. They lose Steph, of course. And then the Wizards lose Bradley Beal and bring in Kwame Brown. Now, one thing y'all might peep is these going to be the end of last season rosters. Because when I was making this, I probably could have redid it. But fuck it, we both. I forgot to actually download the updated version of the roster. Because I've had the last video I should have did, which would have been the everybody's back into a rookie. The rosters were updated. This video, they're not gonna be. I'm gonna hopefully, remember to maintain that for future reference. But it is what it is. So all these guys gonna be starting playing 30 minutes with them. Probably about 3 seasons, and just see kind of how they do. At the end of this first season, we see James Harden get the MVP, Jaden Ivey Rookie of the Year, Tyler Herro 6th Man, AD Defensive Player of the Year, Naz Reid Most Improved, Quinn Snyder in the Hawks first seed because 2K. Nothing too. Josh Giddey All NBA second team is kind of interesting. Outside of that, really nothing too wild. All defensive teams look kind of how you would expect to. Marvin Bagley All defensive team. I don't really know about that, but I don't know if all of them were set to being rookies, so we'll just kind of check team by team, see how everybody did. First things first is 76ers. Honestly, let's go to the standings. Let's be a little more specific. So we see out east, the Hawks, and their piece was Sheldon Williams, who was, and I didn't make a lot of them. I just downloaded their player DNA, so tendencies might be awful, as you see with Sheldon Williams. But you know, Cavs, Anthony Bennett, and they were all playing about 30 minutes. You know, due to different like factors. You know, like Cavs, you see they have Evan Mobley, who's gonna take a big chunk of minutes. So Anthony Bennett still got 27, but had actually a pretty functional rookie year. If this is what he was in real life, he would probably still be in the league. Bulls, Jay Will, pretty solid. Jonathan Bender, terrible for the Pacers, looks like. Rockets, the Raptors, golly. Bargnani, pretty good rookie year. Like, that's probably 19-8. I feel like that's about where he peaked in the league. 14-6 for Chauncey Billups. Magic didn't get anybody. The Knicks got Frank Ntilikina. 8-6. I mean, inefficient as shit, but 8-6. Like, you love that for Frank Ntilikina. Michael Beasley, 17-6-1. That's a Michael Beasley number. Jabari Parker, 18-7-2 about. So there's a lot of, different levels. Some people did play to a high level. Sean Bradley about 10-10. But yeah, a lot of people played at different levels. But overall, I mean, a lot of functional seasons. Derek Favors, 13-6. You see the Darko, 8-7. Hornets got Adam Morrison, who's 25. Okay, so they started taking him off the bench. 14-3-8. 14-3, not no 8. Pretty functional rookie year. And Adam Morrison is a guy, like, I mean, it looks like it was just kind of injury stuff they got to him. I don't really, like, I know the name. I don't know too much about him. Kind of unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Kwame, terrible. And he's shooting threes for some reason. You love it, don't you? The Thunder, I mean, I wouldn't think Shea hurts them that much. And Cole Aldridge, 9-6. Wouldn't think losing Shea hurts that much in this like depleted league, but apparently it killed them. Josh Primo, 8-3-1 bad efficiency. Jared Culver, 11-4 bad efficiency. Enes Kanter, 14-11. You know he didn't play no defense, so at least he brought it offensively. Greg Oden, 8-7. Samaki Walker, terrible. Suns had Jalen Smith, who was pretty solid. Kings, Marvin Bagley. Lakers, Marvin Bagley basically did Marvin Bagley things. And he made all defensive second team. You wouldn't expect. Lonzo, kind of similar numbers to his real rookie year, I think. Maybe a little less efficient. The Rockets are a playoff team, but they did bring in probably the best overall guy in Ralph Sampson, who didn't really play to the level you expect. And a lot of these players, you will see like previous stats. These aren't their stats. I just put player DNA over players that didn't really matter for. I think he was over at DJ Augustine. The Pels, Austin Rivers, 13-4 about. Grizzlies, Hasheem Thabeet, 13-7 about, so that's pretty solid for him. The Clippers had Michael Olowokandi, 10-7, 2 blocks a game, so not too bad. The Nuggets had this guy whose name I can't pronounce, who actually probably outperformed his real life rookie year by far. I mean, not only talking about the rebound, literally just everything, but let him rock. And he's not over Nemanja Bjelica, but I just gave him like Nemanja Bjelica's face cam because nobody had made like a player DNA, so I just kind of put a foreign guy that sort of looked like him. I mean, not too close, but close enough. Ekpe Udoh, 6-5 about. Ekpe Udoh was never a passer like that. And that's how everybody is. We're still to see, if any of these guys are impacting enough to actually win. For the next 2 seasons, I'm going to just, show y'all if anything important happens to all, like the Jabari Parkers, and all the people who had a good rookie years for us. So I'm not going to force them any minutes. So if they just suck, they suck. Conference finals, we got Hawks, Lakers in the finals. And the Hawks win because 2K loves the Hawks. So Sheldon Williams gets him a ring, who's still in the rotation. Had an okay playoffs, about 5-6-4. Don't think he was ever a playmaker like that, but hey, fuck it, we ball. So yeah, these next 2 seasons, I'll just show you anything important. Anybody wins any awards, any all-stars, all that, but generally, I'm not going to show y'all stat for everybody. So in season 2, the only guy we see being an all-star is Ralph Sampson. A lot of these guys I had on multi-year contracts. Some of them might have slipped through the cracks, as you see with Ralph Sampson. But he's playing a lot closer to what he was in real life. Them first couple years, I mean, probably maybe a little too high with the 23 and 14, but 24 and 14. But he was most definitely more like a 14 and 9 guy. So maybe, you know, they're able to get more than 30 minutes or just getting in a better situation, getting out of Houston. He's became an all-star. No other guys. I mean, see a couple real life guys you don't really see in 2K be all-stars. I don't feel like I've ever seen Jordan Poole be one. Desmond Bain isn't a guy that gets a lot of nods. Hero I don't really ever see. But yeah, that's only like guy when it comes to that. I'll check the dunk contest as well as like the 3-point contest too, I guess, since that could be significant to them. Really not too much, you know, going on with these guys you wouldn't expect. A lot of them are bad NBA players, objectively. A good amount of them were jobless to start this season. I mean, I wouldn't say a good amount, but like there were multiple jobless guys. Doesn't look like any of them were, I mean, none of them won the 3-point contest or dunk contest. Maybe some of them were in it. We'll see for the participants, I believe. See, it doesn't look like any of those guys were in it, really. When it comes to award races, I doubt anybody's in it either. I mean, Ralph Sampson, you see, this is the auto-generated rookie. And then that really looks to be it. Lonzo, this is real Lonzo? This is not real Lonzo. This is the Lakers Lonzo. He also goes to the Bulls. He's looking to get 6th man of the year. And is that it? Chauncey Billups. So maybe more of them slipped than I forgot. Chauncey Billups, a Hornet now. He's giving them 21 and 10. Efficiency's not great, but hey, he's balling. So a couple guys being, you know, pretty important in the league, but nobody really taking over yet. Darius Garland gets MVP. This auto-generated guy. Rookie of the Year, 6th man Cole Anthony. Ralph Sampson gets Defensive Player of the Year, so at least one of our guys gets an award. And he gets Most Improved. I don't even think he was really in the talks for that, but not a slide at all. It makes sense. Hawks are still, you know, that 1 seed. Ralph Sampson made All-NBA first team. It doesn't look like any of our other guys made an All-NBA team. All defensive teams. This is real Lonzo. Yes, that's real Lonzo. Okay. So yeah, it looks like Ralph Sampson's really the only guy who had a great season. I'll check the league leaders, everything, see if anybody, you know, had a pretty good season, objectively. Doesn't really look like anything too wild going on. But it's good amount of player moving. Chauncey Billups maintained his 21-9. Efficiency's not great, but it's something. Jabari Parker, 19, 6 and 2, not bad. Michael Beasley, 18, 7 and 2. So that's pretty Michael Beasley type of numbers. Anybody else? You know, make an impact? Not Miles. We weren't even looking for Miles Bridges, but I don't know. He kind of caught me off guard. Jay Williams, 15 and 7 about, so maintains pretty similar numbers. Bargnani's stats went down, 14 and 7. So maybe I did slip up on a lot of them. I mean, Marvin Bagley's still here, 13 and 8 about. So Marvin Bagley just being Marvin Bagley. I feel like Marvin Bagley wasn't even a bad player. He just didn't really grow too much as a player, and he was drafted before Luka. So I feel like it looks real bad compared to if he was just what he is. Enes Kanter, 12 and 8. And is that all the... We'll just stop. Michael Olowokandi. And then is this the real Jalen Smith? This is real Jalen Smith. Michael Olowokandi, 11 and 6. I mean, I'm not really going to scroll too. I'll just scroll past like the worst guys. See if like Frank Ntilikina looks pretty okay. But I don't. Greg Oden. I don't really expect too much. I'm not really going to, brush over these guys too much. They're not too important. I am looking for, what's his name? The Cavs guy, Anthony Bennett. I don't think I saw Anthony Bennett. Is he jobless? Can I not just check free agents? All right, I'll just check that later. When it comes to the playoffs, I'm not going to jump into any games unless it's one of the key guys. So Ralph Sampson's on the Bulls who swept. So we'll check out any Bulls things. Jabari Parker was another guy. I mean, the Hornets. Yeah, don't really see any Don't really think any of the important guys are on any of these teams. Ralph Sampson down 3-2 right now to the Hawks. We're just talking. I don't know if they still have Sheldon Williams. See what impact he can make. Ralph Sampson falls sort of close game in game 6. I mean, let's see what he did in the playoffs. 26 and 15. So he did his job for real. And then isn't both Lonzos here? Which Lonzo is this? This is Orlando, I believe. And about 11 and 7. So pretty good year. I mean, he took a pretty solid jump. And another Lonzo's also here. It doesn't look like the Hawks, even if they still have Sheldon. No, it's just not. Sheldon Williams still here. He's not playing though. The Hawks win the playoffs, of course. DeJounte Murray, they repeat. I still don't know what it is about the Hawks that 2K loves, because it's not even Trey. It's not John Collins, because we've taken him off for a video. I don't know what it is, but they love it. Our year 3 All-Stars are Michael Beasley, who's turned into a superstar at this point, low-key. And then still we got Ralph Sampson here. And I believe that's it. It looks like everybody. Still a couple new faces you don't really see in 2K. D'Lo, All-Star. You basically, I don't think I've ever seen D'Lo be an All-Star in this game. Like the current D'Lo. Like if you go through eras, D'Lo progressed pretty good though. But you know, DeAndre Ayton, Tyler Herro. I feel like we said him last year. Jordan Poole said him last year. Scotty Barnes. I don't know. Maybe. And award races wise, we see Ralph Sampson in MVP Hawks, and then Derek Favors in 6 Man of the Year talks. Ralph Sampson looks like he's gonna get another DPI, and then Lonzo. This is our Lonzo. Maybe another. Was he in Most Improved last year? I feel like it was arguable. And then Bargnani's in Most Improved, which is kind of iffy because I feel like. I mean, I don't know the real life credentials. I won't say credentials, but you know, real life requirements for Most Improved. But like, if somebody has a down season and they go back up, I doubt they're giving them an award. But he'll see. Simpson and season C, you know, if any of these guys are still making an impact, check out on some of the other guys I haven't seen. Another MVP for Darius Garland. Rookie of the Year, it doesn't matter. 6 Man doesn't matter. Ralph Sampson gets Defensive Player of the Year, and then Jalen Suggs is Most Improved. Quinn Snyder and the Hawks still reigning supreme. Chauncey Billups make an All-NBA team. He stayed on the Hornets 23 and 10 about this season, and he's got his efficiency up, so that's good to see. And then Lonzo, and this is our Lonzo, 15, 7, and 10 about, makes an All-NBA team, as well as Michael Beasley, who's an All-Star. All defensive teams, we see both Lonzos make all defensive first team. All defensive second team, we see Marvin Bagley here, and he progressed pretty well, it looks like, so far. Checking just league leaders once again, see if, you know, any of our guys are quietly making an impact, but, you know, just not loud enough to be noticed. Like Jabari Parker, somebody I would kind of expect to be of the upper echelon guys, but really have not seen anything from him. I mean, it's about 27 and 2, so I mean, he's been solid. Most definitely not them too wild. And I'll just check out everybody averaging over 15 for us. So we have Bargnani, who we saw at about All-Star break. Nobody else really, it looks like. Yeah, pretty quiet thing. I mean, you'd expect 17-11 for Bagley. We just saw that too, though. Jay Wills about 17-8. I mean, you would expect a lot of these guys are all-time busts, so I wouldn't expect too much from a lot of them. But you know, really nothing too loud for real. Derek Favors right under the threshold, 14 and 7. Well, we'll round up to 15 and 7. For the playoffs, we're still checking out the Bulls. I don't feel like anybody else significant is on any of these other teams. I mean, I may be wrong. Yeah, Lonzo doesn't look like he's in here. Yeah, Lonzo's not here. I don't see Jabari Parker. I think he's on the Spurs. Who else was an All-Star? Michael Beasley was a Pacer. So, him and Ralph Sampson, who just got swept, were together. I feel like this final is going to be pretty insignificant to us. Cavs win. Cavs-Warriors finals. I don't think there's anybody on any of these teams we really care about. At least nobody getting minutes. Delon right now. Draymond, yeah. Saban Lee, okay. So it doesn't look like anybody on the Warriors is, and then on the Cavs side, yeah, also doesn't look like any of these guys. So yeah, finals are kind of insignificant. I mean, Cavs win if y'all care. We're done with it though. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next video. Shalom.